Okay, this video tutorial looks at the mathematical strand of patterns and algebra, and more specifically, we're going to focus our understanding on algebraic notation. Okay, so I guess we need to understand what algebraic notation is. Well, essentially, algebraic notation is just a shorthand way or a modified way of writing algebra. And it simply means that whenever we write an expression in algebra, we always write it without a multiplication sign, okay? And we always make sure we put the numbers first, okay? They always go before the letters, and we always put our letters in alphabetical order. So, as a couple of examples, all right, in algebra, instead of writing 4 times A, we would write 4A. If we had 4 times A times B times B times 3 times A times C, all right, we need to make sure that we've now simplified that. But in order to do that, we need to put things in order. So remember, we do our numbers first, then we do our letters, all right, but we need to make sure the letters are in alphabetical order. Once we've done that, we simply then take away the multiplication signs. We know that 4 times 3 gives us 12. We know that A times A gives us A squared. We know that B times B gives us B squared. And then we have a C at the end. Alright, but like I said just before, we need to make sure we use algebraic notation by taking away the multiplication signs. And in this particular case, it would simply just be 12 A squared B squared C. So you can see that these multiplication signs are no longer present. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples here. Remember that algebraic notation means no multiplication sign. Okay, that's what algebraic notation really means. So instead of 5 times A, this would simply be 5A. Remember, we put our numbers before our letters, and our letters always go in alphabetical order. So this, our second example, would be 4 times 5 times A times B. But remember, we don't have a multiplication sign. So this becomes 20AB. The numbers, then the letters in alphabetical order. In our last example, we need to do our numbers and then our letters in alphabetical order. And now we just get rid of the no multiplication. Alright, so this becomes 6AB C to the power of 2. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at these simple questions. Remember, using algebraic notation, we don't use the multiplication sign, alright, and we put our numbers before our letters, and our letters are in alphabetical order. So see if you can answer these questions. If you think you can, have a go when you think you've got them correct. So obviously you've paused the video, but then continue the video and we'll see how you went. So let's see how you went. In our first question, it's just b times 3, so this just simply becomes 3b because we put our number before our letter and we don't use a multiplication sign. In our second question, we have our number first, followed by our letters in alphabetical order, which just gives us an answer of 6, A, B, C. And in our last question, we have our numbers, and then we have our letters in alphabetical order. So this simply becomes 15 C to the power of 3 D.